Ah yes, welcome once again to another scary story. If you're new here, hi, come for the scary stories and stay because I also do creepypastas and other stuff. Now, before we begin, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. Also, feel free to stick around after this story for another one of my scary stories. But without further ado, let's get right into today's story, which was submitted by Shadow Wolf. They say there is a place at the edge of the old forest where no birds sing and no wind blows, where an abandoned church stands in silence, forgotten by time. The locals call it the Forgotten Church of Silent Screams. Nobody remembers when it was built or who worshipped there. Its stone walls are cracked, its wooden doors rotten, and its windows shattered, yet the heavy air around it never seems to move. Villagers whisper that if you press your ear against the church doors at midnight, you can hear the faint echo of screams, hundreds of voices crying together, trapped in time. I never believed such tales until I went there myself. I had heard the warnings. Don't go near the church after dark. It takes those who enter. Once you hear the screams, they follow you home. But curiosity is a dangerous thing, and I wanted proof. The night I went, the forest was deathly still. Even my footsteps seemed muffled, as if the ground itself wanted me silent. The church appeared out of the darkness like a black shadow, its steeple crooked, pointing not to the heavens but bent as though dragged downward. My flashlight flickered as soon as I raised it toward the entrance. The wooden cross above the doorway was split, as though something powerful had tried to rip it apart. I pushed open the door, and it let out a groan like something alive. Inside, the air was thick with the stench of mold and something else, something like burnt flesh. Rows of pews were covered in dust, broken in places as though people had clawed at them. The altar at the front was blackened with scorch marks, though no fire had touched the rest of the building. Above it, the stained glass window was shattered, and the moonlight that should have streamed through barely reached inside. It felt like the shadows were swallowing the light whole. I walked further inside, my breath loud in the stillness. Then I heard it, the faintest sound, like a whisper. At first I thought it was wind, but there was no wind. Then it grew clearer, voices, dozens, hundreds, whispering, groaning, weeping, and then the screams. They rose like a wave, crashing into my ears, filling the church with agony. My flashlight went out, plunging me into darkness. I froze, unable to breathe, unable to move. The sound was unbearable. It was as if the walls themselves were alive with suffering souls. When I finally stumbled backward, my hand touched something wet. I pulled it back in the faint moonlight. It was red, fresh blood, dripping from the pews as though they bled. I bolted toward the door, but when I tried to push it open, it wouldn't budge. Behind me, footsteps echoed, slow and deliberate. I turned, and in the faint glow, I saw figures, rows of people sitting in the pews. Their heads bowed, their faces hidden in shadow, but they weren't alive. Their skin was gray, their mouths sewn shut with thick black thread, yet the screams still came from them. Their heads rose in unison, and though their mouths were sealed, I could hear the pain pouring from them. I slammed against the door until it finally gave way, throwing me into the night. The moment I stepped outside, the sound vanished. Silence pressed against me harder than the screams had. I ran back through the forest without looking back. I told myself I'd never return, but here's the part I never told anyone. That night, when I finally collapsed into bed, I woke up at exactly 3:03 a.m. My room was pitch black, and the silence was deafening. Then, slowly, faintly, from somewhere deep inside the walls of my house, I heard them again, the screams. And now, every night at 3:03, they come. Louder, closer. I don't go back to the church anymore, but I think the church followed me. And I know one night soon the screams won't stop. Thank you so much for listening to this scary story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. And if you'd like to submit a story to me, you can use the submission link in the description. And for those of you who are just here for the scary stories, I completely understand. You want to hear a scary story, not listen to me ramble about how I'm terrible at social media. So I've actually uploaded a couple of videos over the last few days that you can watch now. First, I have a video called Creepypastas. I read these kind of stories all the time for inspiration for my own stories. And I decided to try reading some creepypastas to see if I like it. So I chose one and I read it for you guys. This one is called Suicide Mouse. It's pretty good. I really like it. Then I also uploaded a video called My Worst Nightmare. This is one of my original horror stories. I really like it. I think it's one of my better ones and it's a lot shorter than usual. So if you're not usually into really long stories, then this might be a good one for you to listen to. So please go check those out. Also, here's one more. Now this one is from a while ago, but it's one of my favorite stories that I've ever written. It's called Ghost Train, and it's literally one of my favorite stories that I've ever created. I know you guys will love it. I think that's enough shameless self-promotion though, so go check those out if you haven't already. And before I end this video, I want to thank all of my supporters. You guys are amazing and I love you all so very much. So go check out my page if you're interested. Now, even though I usually don't respond to comments anymore, Please know that I do read every single comment that you guys leave, and I appreciate every single one of you. You guys are amazing and I love you all so very much. Thank you guys for being a part of my small little community. So I hope you all have a great day or night, and goodbye.